Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Well, Monday is Veterans Day. We always bring in the Director of Veterans Affairs for the state of Rhode Island, Kasim Yarn. Kasim, thanks for coming in, Director.
Thank you, Mr. 401.
You came in under Governor Raimondo. You stayed under Governor McKee, and I like when you come in because you always come in with information that veterans can use. And off the top, we always mention this particular form or this card or whatever it is. Tell us what it is again. The DD?
DD 214.
All right. That unlocks everything.
Correct.
Yeah. What do you need it for?
It illustrates your character of service, but also, too, it connects you with services based on your eligibility criteria, based on your character of service. And so what we find, we're an aging population in the veteran space. Yeah. And more each day, I'm getting calls from family members, hey, mom and dad, they need access to their DD-14. Yeah. How do I get access to it? And so taking this information on, so in partnership with the General Assembly, we're in a process now of digitizing all DD-214s. So that way they're readily available and accessible to the veterans and their family members.
You have to have that to unlock your benefits. You have to have it to access the home, the cemetery, everything.
Correct.
And yet vets don't know that. I mean, most of them probably do, but there is a population that doesn't know you must have this?
Yes, sir. And so to my message to all our veterans and family members, do you have really access to your DD-214 or NGB-22 if you're a Guard member? If you don't, reach out to my office so we can connect you and get you that into your hands.
Is it a fast process? What do you do? Have to check the Pentagon records? How does it happen?
Historically, prior to 2000, anytime a veteran was transitioning back home from active duty to home, this gaining state would get a hard copy of their DD-214. Through the cost measures, they've since ceased that practice. But now they're all digitized electronically. So if a veteran, the modern warrior, was transiting home, I would have log online and I'd be able to access it, pull it down via the internet from a DOD site. Now we have all those, so what do we do about those in the backdated in terms of the earlier era veterans? And so we're in the process of digitizing all of those to get those up to speed, so that way we can log in and get those readily available to the veterans and their family members.
Okay, you have to have that, that's the key. Now, you know, we have two kind of parallel systems. The much bigger VA runs the hospitals and other benefits, and you're with the state of Rhode Island. You've got three things under your purview. You've got the Bristol Vets Home in Bristol. You've got the cemetery in Exeter. And you have what, a resource center in Warwick? And tell us about that
We
first.
chose Warwick, centrally located, because, you know, our Rhode Islanders have to drive all the way somewhere. So we wanted to where it's easily accessible to our veterans and military families. So we chose Warwick. It is on 2 RIPTA routes, as well as a block over from the airport. So it makes it easier, ADA compliant. We're on the 2nd floor, and we open walk-ins are always available for us to. Again, we want to meet our veterans where they are in the community by partnering with, we have satellite offices in Westerly and Woonsocket at the education centers. And so it's so critical that if a veteran family needs access to something, we will come to you and meet you where you are in the community.
So the family members can come and say, listen, my dad's not quite up to doing the research, but I think he's entitled to X, Y, and Z. And you answer those questions
Absolutely.
for them?
And so we ask that no two veterans are alike. And so based on your character of service, we can offer, let's go choose path A or path B.
Yep. All right. We're showing the Veterans Cemetery, which, by the way, I've been there for 4th of July and Memorial Day. It's a wonderful place. You really do a nice job. What's new over there? I know you were building a columbarium for ashes. Is that completed, or is that still a work in progress?
So this is expansion progress. This is a long-term, a 10-year plan to expand the life expectancy of our cemetery to 75 to 100 years. The first step in that process is our columbarium expansion project. We recently got funding through our congressional delegation, so a special thank you to our senators and congressmen for securing funding for its expansion project. So the first step in that series of projects is to expand our columbarium park that will start, we started a couple years back. We've just got extension grant funding from our federal VA partners to expand it. And again, so we've just started breaking ground on that next phase of that project.
Who is eligible to go in there?
Our veterans that serve honorably. We've also, since the recent passage of the Burial Act, and they would make eligibility for our Guard members to be eligible there too as well. So this is new from last year, based on the service of our Guard members' eligibility. 6 years active duty time, minimum active duty time for our enlisted personnel, and they're eligible, now make them eligible to be buried at our cemetery in Exeter.
So it goes by your service record, not necessarily your residency?
Correct, correct. So no, there are no borders when it comes to serving America's heroes. And so part of our process, we now will offering interments for those that you may not be a resident of Rhode Island, but you serve this nation honorably. You're welcome to be interred here as well.
So let's say the veteran passes away, but his widow is a Rhode Islander. She moves back. He is entitled to burial there?
Correct, and his widow is as well.
As well? As well.
And if you have a dependent under your care, your dependent is also there too as well. So your spouse and your dependent are eligible to be interred with you as the veteran.
And let's talk about the third leg of the stool here, which is your veterans home in Bristol, which is a relatively new facility. Correct. I've also been there.
Yes, sir.
How many kitchens?
So we have 7 kitchens.
7 kitchens.
Seven kitchens.
Is it a star-shaped? How is it set up?
It's an oval shape, and it's interlocking in, so it's neighborhood construct, and so that way, historically, so if there, for example, if there was a fire situation, you know you have to evacuate to a certain area. There, because of the design of the facility, it's a shelter in place. The design of that facility has been so instrumental in our ability to minimize the effect of COVID as well, because the ability to shelter in place, to compartmentalize the area, and remain in that way, we can make sure we maintain the care and quality services for our residents. Talk
about eligibility to get in there. What has to happen for a room to open up? Are you fully booked now, or is there space?
So we have a wait list, unfortunately, because of as we've seen, because of the pandemic, the nursing industry, but we're working with our council and full leadership and to come up with strategies. We're recently meeting with them to offer potentially job fair. We're still in the planning phases of that too, but we are, unlike any other nursing facility, veterans home, state-ran facility, we all are impacted by the lack of staffing, specifically the CNAs and LPNs.
What's the breakdown male-female?
So right now we have 144 residents. We have 2 domicile residents on the 2nd floor. Of that, we have 5 women veterans that are there as well.
Predominantly male.
Correct.
And to qualify to get in, provided you're on the list, you get in, the room is open up. By the way, it's a suite. I've seen it. It's private bath.
Correct.
Internet, cable, everything. The community kitchen, 3 meals a day, snacks all day long.
Absolutely.
And recreational. There's a pool table. I've been out there. I've toured it. What do I have to do, let's just say, to make it easy, get my father in? He served honorably, I've got the DD. Does he have to give up income? Is there contribution? What happens?
So they fill out the application process, and based on their character of service. For example, if you are a veteran and you're receiving a VA disability pension of 70% or more, you can live there at no cost.
So say that again. VA
service-connected disability rating with a 70% or greater. You won't have to pay any fees associated with living at the facility.
And your savings, nobody touches that?
Nobody touches that.
Okay,
correct.
Next category.
Correct. So anything less than that, you're subjected to a 80-20% split. So we don't go out, we don't try to go seize your assets, none of that type stuff. But that would be eligible if you were like a Medicaid facility.
Okay.
We're not that at our facility as well. So we don't go after your assets and all those things too. It's your net income.
80-20 split.
80-20 split,
and
correct.
Now, it's not a nursing home.
No, it's not.
It's not quite an assisted living either.
Correct.
So what is it? You provide some of those services.
Correct.
You can age.
Correct.
You can age gracefully there if you like.
Absolutely.
Well, how would you describe it?
It's a community. It is a community living center for our veterans. It's not an institution. It's not a nursing home. It's not an assisted living facility. It is a veterans home. It is unique in that capacity because it's where we serve America's heroes. And again, special thank you, and we offer programming as such with that too. We have a great working relationship with our federal VA partners under Director Connell, and we have a routine meeting to make sure that our services are succinct for our residents in that community of care.
All right, when I think of the VA, I think what? Hospitals?
Federal hospital, we also the benefits component of that. So there are 4 components to our federal VA regarding the hospital, the benefits, our National Cemetery Administration, and the 4th mission is to support civilian authorities as well.
If people want to get a hold of you and learn more about your 3 legs of the stool, Resource Center, Cemetery, Bristol Veterans Homes, where should they go? What should they do?
Website, vets.ri.gov.
Right.
We have our phone number, 401-921-2119. We also accept walk-ins.
Okay, I have 1 minute. Tell us the story. How old were you when you enlisted in the Navy? You're a Southerner. And tell us the story. You're still in high school?
Still in high school. I was under age 18, and I came in on a delayed entry program. So I was 17. And I was going through what they call JROTC in the Army side of it. and I had took the AVAP score that tells you what your amplitude test, what you're eligible to as a career.
Right.
And I remember when I made that decision, I remember like it was yesterday, my vice principal running through the hallways, running into the paying office and saying, Kasim, what did you do? You just signed up to be enlisted in the military? What, are you nuts? And I was a straight A student.
Yeah. Your mother wasn't happy?
No, actually, so we sat down. I remember we sat in the living room, and the Navy recruiter sat beside me, and he's like, Kasim, do you want to choose a career that when you get out of service, serve your nation, get out and do a job? The Navy's best tailor-made for you.
Right.
So I looked there, and I looked over at my mother and said, Mom, what do you think? She's like, son, it's your decision. I will support the decision that you make. And at that point, I knew she knew I was going to be part of something bigger than oneself.
You never look back. How many years did you serve active duty, all told?
Gene, I joined the Navy when I was 91, and I retired in 2016.
Okay.
So all I know is military Navy 101.
Kasim Yarn, he's our Director of Veterans Affairs for Rhode Island. Thanks for coming in. Happy Veterans Day to you.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.